My dear brothers and sisters in the Lord, today we celebrate an important feast of the Church, and this is the feast of the Pentecost. And this culminates the Paschal mystery of Jesus, and this is also the fulfillment of the promise of our Lord Jesus Christ to His apostles. It is the risen Lord giving the gift of life. The risen Lord giving the gift of hope. The risen Lord giving the gift of strength. And most especially the gift of new life. Jesus breathed again to His apostles. And He said to them, receive the Holy Spirit. Our responsoral song today would speak about that the coming of the Holy Spirit will renew the face of the earth. And as we hear this song, come Holy Spirit, renew the face of the earth. And the same is true that we are asking that on this Pentecost Sunday, we are invoking that the Holy Spirit will also renew the face of the earth. For the very reason that we need to ask God to renew the face of the earth. Whether we like it or not, the pandemic COVID-19 has changed the face of the earth. It has deformed the face of the earth. Whether we like it or not, the face of the earth today is this. There is so much despair. There is so much hopelessness. There is so much bitterness. There is so much misery. There is so much selfishness. There is so much hatred. There is so much division, separation. And this is what has made us by the COVID-19. Last Sunday, it was the ascension of our Lord Jesus Christ, in which we are being reminded once again that in His absence, we are His hands. We are His ears. We are His eyes. We are His heart. We are His spirit. But in His absence, our Lord Jesus Christ sending us the great mission to fulfill. And God is to continuously fulfill the mission of Christ. And that is to spread love, to spread hope to one another. On this Pentecost Sunday, and this is Jesus sending the very life and power of God to His apostles. It was so dramatic, and we have to look at the readings today. The first reading, it will give us what had happened during the Pentecost. There was a strong wind, driving wind, filled the entire house in which the apostles were. Appeared the tongues of fire which parted and came to rest on each of them. And we have to look at the very context of this before the Pentecost. It was the same what we have gone through and going through in this pandemic COVID-19. The apostles had experienced so much despair. The apostles had experienced so much fear. The apostles had experienced so much hopelessness, division, hatred. But the coming of the Holy Spirit is that it is the coming of the very life and power of God in the in us. My brothers and sisters, we have to look at the readings of this Sunday's liturgy of the Pentecost. The first reading will speak about that the Pentecost, in Greek, it is Shabbos, which means weeks, 7 weeks. This is a length of time of pilgrimage, the weeks of pilgrimage. And that is the Jewish Pentecost, which speak about the importance of the death and resurrection of Jesus. On this 50th day, after 7 weeks, he will describe also our journey. And here, my dear brothers and sisters, that on this Pentecost Sunday, on this 50th day, we see, my dear brothers and sisters, giving us the Holy Spirit, which is the permanent presence in the tower of strength, in guiding, in guarding, and directing our course of life. Whether we like it or not, the COVID-19 has redirected our life. Whether we like it or not, the COVID-19 has redefined our priorities. The COVID-19 has redirected our goals. And here, we need to redefine again. We need to be redirected again. And we know that the Holy Spirit will help us to redirect, to guide us, to guard us, to protect us, and most especially to give us hope. My dear brothers and sisters, ang linggo ng Pentecoste ay napakahalagang pagdiriwang ng ating simbahan. Dahil ito po ang kapanganakan ng ating simbahan Katoliko. Pentecost Sunday is the birth of the Catholic, the Universal Church. Because it was on the Pentecost Sunday, it was the coming of the Holy Spirit, that the tongues of fire was parted and rest on each of the apostles. And truly enough, there was a transformation. There was a change. That the despair and hopelessness was turned into hope. And the sadness and loneliness has turned into joy. And despair has turned into life. And there was transformation. The apostles started to go out without any fear. But they started to proclaim the marvels and the wonderful works of God. And there was the proclamation of love. There was a proclamation of truth. There was a proclamation of understanding. And here, as we invoke the Holy Spirit to come upon us, so that we will renew the face of the earth, so that once again, we will building a new world, a beautiful world, a wonderful world, wherein we experience of what had the apostles experienced on the Pentecost day. There was a transformation. There was love. There was hope. There was understanding, because they had experienced the marvelous blessings of God. My dear brothers and sisters, this is what we are being invited into. As we have this joy in our heart, because of this great feast of the church, the Pentecost. The Pentecost in which we are once again given the gift of the Holy Spirit. So that we will have a sense of direction, so that we will have a sense of what we call meaning and purpose, so that we'll be guided, so that we continuously live and hope, and that is the Holy Spirit is given to us. When Jesus ascended into heaven, He gave the Spirit as a promise. And God, the Holy Spirit, is the very life and very power of God in us, in our day-to-day living. My dear brothers and sisters, as we invoke the Holy Spirit to renew the face of the earth, we are also asking God to continuously bless us. We are also asking God so that we continuously live the gifts that He has given to us. And that is, on this pandemic COVID-19, we are renewing the face of the earth with the love and gifts of the Holy Spirit. The gifts that we may truly be wise, and that is seeking God's will in our life. The gift that we should be more understanding. The gift that we should always encourage everyone. The gift that we should be a source of strength, especially on this great pandemic, this great challenging time. We should encourage one another. We should motivate one another. This gift of faith that we hold on to and believe, most especially the gift that we know God will never abandon us. My dear brothers and sisters, there is so much darkness that we have gone through. There is a great despair and hopelessness. There was a great division created by this COVID-19. But our Lord Jesus Christ on this Pentecost, trying to redefine and change the earth, that may we continuously seek and live, because the coming of the Holy Spirit is that God's presence in us, of His love, of His kindness, of His understanding, and of His peace. My dear brothers and sisters, at times that we are in difficult situations, at times that we can never think and we cannot think clearly, at times that there is so much anxieties, uncertainties, at times that we're losing hope, the Holy Spirit today would remind us that God's love God's power, that God's life is in us to the power of the Holy Spirit. You know, my dear brothers and sisters, that the Holy Spirit is truly at work in us when we continuously live in love. We know that the Holy Spirit is at work in us when we continuously live at peace with one another. We know that the work of the Holy Spirit is in us when we continuously live in harmony with one another. That is why, my dear brothers and sisters, the Holy Spirit is God's presence, God's life and power, guiding, guarding, directing us to this life. That is why we thank God for this gift of the Holy Spirit in us. We have received the gifts of the Holy Spirit when we were baptized, then strengthened when we were confirmed. And every day of our life, we know that the Holy Spirit guides us. Espiritu Santo, ginagabayan po tayo. Lalong-lalo na alam po natin na ang Espiritu Santo gumagabay po sa atin. Para sa ganun, gawin natin kung anong nararapat. Gawin natin ang kalooban ng Diyos. At lalong-lalo, gawin natin ang pag-ibig ng Diyos. My dear brothers and sisters, let us thank God because we have received gifts with the Spirit. And that is, we thank God dahil pinapatapang, pinapalakas po niya tayo ng Espiritu Santo. Alam natin that we continue to face life because we have been strengthened by the Spirit. Alam natin, hindi tayo pamamayaan ng Diyos dahil Espiritu Santo ay ginagabayan mo niya tayo. Alam natin na hindi tayo pinababayaan ng Diyos dahil nabubuhay tayo sa pag-ibig niya, sa kapangyarihan ng Espiritu Santo. At alam ng Diyos na hindi tayo pamabayaan dahil ginagawa niya tayong kawanas niya. My dear brothers and sisters, this is also we continuously seek and say, "Come, Holy Spirit, renew the face of the earth." Baguhin natin ang mundo. Baguhin natin sa pag-ibig ng Diyos, sa habag at awa ng Diyos, sa kabutihan ng Diyos. My dear brothers and sisters, wala pa pong gamot ng COVID-19. At hindi po natin alam kung kailan po magkakaroon ng gamot. Pero alam po natin na ginagamot na po tayo ng Diyos. Dahil walang iba kundi kung magiging mabisang gamot ng COVID-19 ay ang ating pagmamahalan at pagmamalasakit sa bawat isa. When we learn to love, when we learn to forgive, when we learn to be good and kind, I think God is healing us in this great pandemic of COVID-19. And this is what we are praying. Every day of our lives, we've been praying. Naway, hindi po tayo magbabago. Naway, nandun pa rin sa ating isip at puso ang diwa ng pagtutulungan, unawaan, pagkakaisa, at higit sa lahat ng pagmamalasakit. Nagdarasal po tayo. Hindi lang po para mahinto ang pandemic, Magdasal po tayo para sa gulo. Kaya pag-ibig ng Diyos ang siyang bagay at mabisang lunas ng pandemic COVID-19. Yung ating pong parokya, sinasabi po natin palagi, we pray. Magdarasal po tayo, kalakip ng pagmamalasakit natin sa bawat isa. At ang pagmamalasakit ay biyaya ng Espiritu Santo. Baguhin natin ang mundo. Hilingin at hilingin natin sa Diyos. Paspasan tayo ng kanyang Espiritu Santo. At baguhin natin ang mukha ng mundo sa pagmamahal at kabutihan ng Diyos sa panahon ng pandemic COVID-19. We say, "Come, Holy Spirit, renew the face." Let us now profess our faith. I believe in God,